look a little bit dark under the eyes and basically just bedraggled today, it's because I'm very, very tired. Why? Because my subconscious is a weird place and my dreams are not restful. You see, it's become almost a running joke amongst my family and friends that I almost always dream that one of them or all of them are horrible to me. Now, I have a very lovely family. I have a best friend who I very much love. But in my dreams, they are not so nice. Now, I do a sleep meditation every night before I actually drift off. And you would think that would calm me down. But no, what seems to happen is I go from being very chill and blissed out and ready to have a restful, beautiful night to being in the kind of dreams that make you wake up in a really bad mood. You know the feeling. You go to sleep, you have a bad dream, you wake up and suddenly you're just like,
I don't want to talk to anyone because everyone was so horrible to me last night.
Think like that, but every day. For example, let's talk about last night's dream. So, last night, it started out really well. I was on some sort of boat, like on a sightseeing tour, and my parents were there and my sister was there and we were looking at these beautiful buildings. I think we were sailing up the Mersey, but I'm not entirely sure because then it kept changing to New York and then it kept changing to another country entirely. But as this boat trip went on, I noticed that they were all talking amongst themselves and not really including me, and I started to feel left out. Then we stopped the boat tour and we went off to look for lunch and they all wanted to go to this same place and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And they were like, oh, we were going to go here. Where are you going? And then the dream sort of changed slightly, and instead of being on a trip somewhere with my parents and my sister, I was on a trip away with Leslie, my best friend, and she and I were in this sort of weird office type place, and she was on one of those really old, like early 90s computers, the big boxy things with a black screen and green text across the screen, you know what I mean? Wow, that was a found poem and I didn't mean it to be. And I was talking to her and she was just completely ignoring me. And I was like, what are you doing? And she was messaging someone else and was absolutely in denial about doing that and kept saying that's not what she was doing. And I was like, okay, can I help? Are you doing something that I can assist with? Because we genuinely do work together in real life. And she kept saying no, and she kept being like, oh no, this is just really important stuff, but I'm not messaging anybody. And then I saw over her shoulder that her message was like, Emma is being so annoying right now. I wish you were here instead. And I was like, who is she talking to? I realised that there is a common theme in all of this, and if you're being charitable, it could be that I am afraid of people, pushing me aside, and if you're being uncharitable, it could be that I am incredibly needy. And maybe I am. Maybe that's what it is, because I quite often have dreams like this. I'm kind of quite anxious as a human, and I try to keep it in check, to push it down. But yeah, I guess now and then I do have a real fear that the people I care about are just gonna go. I've been in that situation. I've literally lived it, and whilst I did survive, it was horrible. I had to go and have counselling for depression. It was awful. I don't want to go through that again, so I guess it's some sort of trauma response up in my noggin. It's ridiculous too, because like I said, these are really nice, lovely people who care about me and wouldn't treat me this way. But when I go to sleep, they just become
hellspawn.
Why is that? Is it just a trauma response? Am I just completely messed up in the head? Feel free to not answer that in the comments. I think it's is more frustrating because once upon a time, when I was maybe in my teens and up to my mid-20s, I was capable of lucid dreaming. So I would be aware that I was asleep and that I was dreaming, and if I didn't like the way a dream was going, I'd just be like, oh no, I don't like this, let's change it. And something would change and the dream would be lovely again, and I'd wake up feeling all refreshed and happy and ready to face my day, you know, instead of feeling knackered all of the time. Now, sometimes I still have nice dreams. Sometimes I imagine that I'm going away on a lovely trip with my best friend or members of my family or my wider friend group, and it's lovely and we have a fabulous time, and I wake up and I think, oh, that was really nice. But just lately, it feels like I'm doing a lot more of the bad dream time. So I'm trying to rectify the situation. At the moment, as I said, I do a meditation before I go to sleep every night, and I am currently making my way through a meditation on lucid dreaming and how to achieve that, in the hope that, you know, I regain that skill. Because there's nothing worse than having somebody you really love be in your dream and treat you really badly, and then you wake up and think, is that how they really feel about me? Do they not care about me? Oh my god! I've always had a bit of a weird brain, but lately it just feels like my brain has gone from, you know, a little bit weird but manageable to
Devil brain!
why do you hate me? Why? Is this something that happens to you? If it is, let me know in the comments. How do you deal with it when you wake up and you're just consumed by these mental images of somebody you really care about being horrible to you? Like, how do you go, oh, that was just a dream, when it happens night after night after night? I know in my logical side of my brain that this isn't real, that these people would never treat me like this, and that I am just being spectacularly needy, but I can't seem to stop it. So yeah, advice on a postcard or just in the comments. Because we won't really write answers on a postcard because A, I'm not putting my address on the internet, and B, who can afford stamps anymore? I mean, you literally have to remortgage your house to be able to afford them, and I don't have a house in the first place. I just feel like at the moment I spend half of my life walking around like I'm in a really sad John Lewis advert. But such is my mood. You know the ones where they use an upbeat song, but they make it sung by somebody with a really bad, breathy singing voice in a really sad way. I mean, they've done it with things like Mad World, and that worked. I like the Gary Jules version, but they've also done it with lots of up-tempo songs and just made them incredibly miserable. And I start wondering, what's next? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who? That's basically how I feel like my mental state is all of the time lately. A sad John Lewis advert because of these dreams. Like I said, let me know if this happens to you and how you deal with it. I feel like I've rambled on and I'm very, very tired, so I might lie down for a bit and see if I can avoid dreaming. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can click on my floaty head up there if you'd like to subscribe, and last week's video is over here. I'll talk to you all next week. Take care, everyone. Bye!